Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about a Polkastarter gem of potential mass gains that we've ever seen in our entire lifetime.
I know, dude. or a total flop fest, dude. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Obvious clickbait title, but not really, because we put question marks, because even we don't know at this point, dude. Like, yesterday we talked about Polkastarter, right? And like how promising it's been at delivering like banger after banger after banger, right? So now, naturally, like we started doing more investigating to look at what the upcoming offerings are. You know, the most recent one that's coming up in a few days is like, if you know who Elio Trades is, which I'm sure most of y'all do, he's probably one of the most popular cryptocurrency influencers. He's launching his own NFT project. So if you're interested in that, link in the description, Will. Put that in there. It's called Super Farm, but we're not talking about that because we stumbled onto something called Public Mint, which I don't know, man. Like after reading like the synopsis of it, just like really, it gives you one of those like gut punch reactions, like, oh fuck, like what could this mean?
Yeah, and ultimately we're gonna pose this question up to you guys, and I want to hear feedback from everybody watching this video and tell me what you think. But we're gonna explain what Public Mint is, what it does, and it's Polkastarter IDO that's going to be happening in 5 days on February 23rd, I believe. But before that, I want to go back to what happened with Bitcoin here. So just a couple of days ago, we did this divergence line on the relative strength index compared to what Bitcoin is doing, and this indicated that it would crash, and it clearly did not. So this is just an example of technical analysis just not working. And it could be just because institutions are buying Bitcoin and they really don't care whether it's 48 grand or 30 grand or 60 grand. So
yeah, if anything, this is just like more evidence for the market being in like some overly bullish momentum.
Right.
But yeah, still nothing goes up forever. So yeah, still.
Okay. So let's talk about Public Mint here. And I'm showing you a bunch of pages. This is their app, which is pretty cool. But before that, I mean, let's just jump into
their website, right?
Their website.
Let's start from the beginning, dude. What is Public Mint?
So all right, so bridging fiat to crypto. So inherently, this is a very important part of the crypto experience is how do you get fiat into crypto? So typically you'd use either exchanges, Coinbase, or any centralized institution. And so what Public Mint has built is a way to send fiat currency from your current bank account into a native blockchain application that converts your fiat into a synthetic asset. And so Public Mint offers a fiat native blockchain APIs, which is interesting because now any developer can leverage this protocol into their own applications. They're about to launch their token within 5 days, so then we're trying to figure out, well, what's the token for? And it's for governance, staking, and yield farming, essentially.
Yeah, ultimately, like what all tokens are for, it's to incentivize community participants to actually like do their damn job. You know what I mean? Uphold the stability of this, because if you're trying to create some kind of synthetic stable coin, essentially, like there's got to be some kind of some balancing mechanisms at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to make these things stable at the end of the day. So, and if they're trying to tokenize this, it's a decentralized ecosystem, right? Governed by its users. So this should be interesting, dude.
Yeah, so it says Public Mint Pay allows anyone to create their own fiat payment system to pay and receive fiat anywhere in the world 24/7. Those who have used bank accounts, they know that you have to wait several days for a bank transfer to occur. Banks are only open until like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But with this, 24/7 transfers of synthetic fiat. And it seems to me initially that this is useful, but why use Public Mint when you have stable coins like USDC or DAI? Like, what's the difference? And that's the sort of the debate that we've been having.
Well, it's good. I mean, at face value, I see value in it because it's not necessarily just like this niche, like on-ramp platform that's only service is just to bring fiat into crypto. It's also like a protocol layer for developers to actually custom create their own like fiat channels with their products and their consumers, right? Like let's use us for example. We have a project called MetaZone. We have users. We have a product. It's a digital product and mostly is transacted with cryptocurrencies. But in the future, we recognize you want you want to expand your demographic beyond just the crypto audience, right? So you
Yeah,
need easy fiat gateway channels within your application. So I like this project from that they're tackling it from that perspective. You know, like you could plug into this fiat ecosystem that way.
Yeah, so essentially we can accept fiat or synthetic fiat for our project, and we can pay our employees with synthetic fiat, and eventually all kinds of fiat currencies are going to be supported. So if you have a decentralized team, they work all over the world, they can receive their income in their native currency, fiat currency. And so there's some advantages to that, and I mean, we're still trying to figure out whether or not that makes sense or USDC makes sense. But I guess it depends on their local environment. Maybe their local environment doesn't accept USDC. Like there's no way to convert USDC into, you know, their local currency.
Yeah, currency you can actually go buy food with, right?
Yeah.
You know, pay the bills with, stuff like that. Like that's we know like a true crypto head wants nothing to do with the fiat legacy system, right? A lot of people probably see this, and we haven't even gotten into like how it actually works, you know, because there's some actual like banking connection here, you know. So a lot of like DeFi users wouldn't be in support of that. What does that mean from like a speculative perspective? Like how do you gain adoption for a platform like this with like an ecosystem of people kind of like resistant for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here it is. Here's the application. So you can do a wire transfer into this wallet that I created through Public Mint. I can do a wire or an ACH, and then pretty soon I can send money via a credit card or a stable coin. So they do support stable coins here. And then, of course, the most important thing here is the withdraw button. So it's there. So it's not locked up in this account forever. And I'm assuming
already,
you can...
Yeah, already something good. Like we talk about this all the time, how there's like too few fiat off-ramps, right, to this ecosystem. So adding another one is only enhancing the space.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, because, you know, when Bitcoin gets to beyond 100,000 and you're trying to exit, Coinbase is going to be down, Kraken's going to be down. You won't be able to exit in any sort of way. And so having another option is going to be good.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this one isn't what's the word, like burdened by that weight of an exchange, like you're saying Coinbase. Yeah. You know, all that activity it's a burden for that network.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's centralized, but still, like you're saying, we have plenty of evidence of those centralized gateways like just going down at the worst opportune moments, dude, usually every time.
Yeah, so, but the question still remains, if let's say Bitcoin does get to, you know, some crazy number like 200 or 300,000, and you're trying to convert Bitcoin into a stable coin, well, you can only do that in so many places, right? So that's one issue, right? You still have that even with Public Mint. But once you're trying to convert the stable coin into your national currency, USD, for example, fiat, then you have the option to use Public Mint. Once you have a stable coin, you're not exposed to the fluctuations of Bitcoin crashing. So there is no real hurry, right? So then, you know, what the real use case so far that I understand from Public Mint is just its application to decentralized applications, like for example in MetaZone, where we can accept and we can send fiat-based synthetic currency to users. I don't know if this really applies to like an exit strategy like you were mentioning before.
Probably not. You're just painting potential scenarios, right? Trying to figure out, what is the purpose of this? Because we already have stable coins, right? We trust them, but that's the thing. Not if we have ambitions for like mainstream adoption of DeFi, like will they ever trust DeFi stable currencies? You know, when their whole life is used to using fiat, maybe they'll trust a synthetic fiat on ramp a little more than they would, you know, DAI or one of these other stable currencies they never heard of.
Right.
Like they'll probably click on USD plus all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of USDC, which.
Yeah. Like what the fuck? What does that C mean, dude?
Yeah.
Catastrophe? Like who knows?
Catastrophe.
Dude?
Yeah.
How do banks come into play in all this, dude? Like,
so they've
announced
200 banks are on board. So it looks like they're tokenizing their assets. The banks are tokenizing their assets and providing the tokenized asset to a blockchain. And so through that, you could yield farm and the banks are providing that liquidity to that protocol. So we're not able to verify the actual banks because they just haven't disclosed it, other than there's 200 banks on board apparently.
Yeah, so I mean, this is part of like the risks you take in like investing in, especially IDOs, because they're such new entities.
Yeah.
Is you got to kind of take this information at face value, whether or not you trust 200 banks are ready to go.
And so here's the information, the tokenomics for the ICO. There's going to be a total of 250 million tokens minted. They're raising $250,000 at an IDO price of 10 cents. So initial market cap is 1.6 million. And they do have some investors, right?
Yeah.
We got Black Edge, Kinetic, and some of these guys. And this will happen on Polkastarter on February 23rd.
Any takeaway thoughts from this project? I mean, for sure, the thing that gravitated us towards this project was their initial founder.
Look at this, 40,000 quote tweets? That doesn't sound right, dude. Public Mint bridges the worlds of traditional fiat with innovative world of crypto. What is going on here? 40,000?
You getting red flags fever, dude?
Oh, yeah, this is definitely a red flag. Now,
there's more like retweets than likes.
I've seen in a bunch of project launchers like Polkastarter, part of their package is that they get like this massive amount of retweets or something. So they employ some sort of like botnet to retweet some of this stuff.
Yeah, like we've already established what we witnessed with these incubator protocols. Like they don't serve as like an actual token distribution mechanic because they only allocate 1% or 2% at most usually to these things. More than anything, they leverage these incubator platforms as like a marketing push, like a literal launch pad, not from a tokenomic perspective, but more from like, I don't know, I guess awareness, right? So that's interesting. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is just one of the Polkastarter features at work.
I think it is. I think it is.
Sounds like an army of bots.
Yeah.
So
the botnet.
Yeah.
But let's see if we can. So the IDO is launching the 23rd. Whitelist is open, raising 250 grand. Yeah, I mean, we did read their entire white paper, and we did find a little discrepancy, which we were able to kind of break down. Paolo Rodriguez is the CEO, but the founder is actually this guy named Halsey
Miner. Yeah, like if you're looking for previous articles written about this project, almost all of them are pointing fingers at this guy as if he's the one who pioneered this concept. You know what I mean? For good reason. This guy has quite the track history and record, as like from an entrepreneurship like success standpoint.
Yeah.
Anytime a figure like this enters the crypto space, like people pay attention.
So Halsey Miner founded CNET in 1993, and he also founded Salesforce and a couple of other big companies.
Yeah, Salesforce is publicly traded, $1 million entity. So
Paolo Rodriguez took over. It looks like Halsey was just a seed investor and just basically a supporter. So
yeah, there was an AMA recently, and they kind of like went over that. Like Paulo started off as a COO, Public Mint, and I guess he got nudged up. So I mean, they're not very clear. Like I'm sure some kind of internal happenings happened, in order for that shift to occur. So I'm thinking this Halsey guy has taken more of like a backseat approach to this project. So I'm sure a lot of people aren't aware of this information. They're thinking he's still leading the charge on this. It's important to note and distinguish that. You got to know who's navigating the ship.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it the guy who has Fortune 500 companies in his history, or is it not?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's looking like it's not currently. I mean, it probably was whenever they first started.
Yeah.
But whatever happened, it wasn't disclosed what happened, but he doesn't seem to be, the main driver anymore. So do with that information what you will. The concept sounds it's interesting. I think there's definitely a need for it. I don't think it falls in line with DeFi, like the heart of DeFi.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the real DeFi ecosystem's fine using decentralized currencies as their payment mechanism, even for development. I mean, in fact, we're about to interview a project here in the next couple of days that's their entire focus is that how do you compensate like development in a decentralized ecosystem? Well, it's definitely not with fiat. Like we can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like the DeFi space isn't looking for fiat, you know what I mean? But there's still application for this. So we'll see, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough uphill adoption climb, like in this climate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're gonna be interviewing Dev Protocol in a couple of days. But yeah, I want to pose a question up to you guys. Is a fiat sort of protocol really necessary for cryptocurrencies if we have the stable coins being used as the the foundational piece of DeFi.
And also, like, considering this public mint has so many similarities to the MakerDAO ecosystem, like as far as like how their governance is aligned with the mint, like the upholding the stability of their currency. What does that mean? Obviously, MakerDAO and DAI is like the underpinning of like the whole DeFi movement. You know what I mean? Without that innovation, DeFi wouldn't exist.
Exactly right.
So if this is so mimic of that infrastructure, what does this mean to, like, what happens from here? Like, is there going to be a whole new branch of DeFi called like DollarFi? I don't fucking know.
Right.
Like, you know, like, what is the point of this at the end of the day? You know, like, if we're mimicking like an already existent like decentralized ecosystem to mint like a fiat currency, basically a synthetic fiat currency, like, what changes in the DeFi space? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything.
I don't know either. So yeah, I'll pose that question to you guys. Please comment on what you think about this project, and make sure you like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at the Blockrunner and also at MetaZone.io. And make sure I want to get your feedback. What do you think of public mint? Do we need a fiat bridge to crypto? And then we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.